Nice to see you. There's a concept in spec bio where your organism has a gas-filled bladder it uses to float. In spec bio, such organisms are called ballots, and generally speaking, they're considered pretty absurd, and on land they are, but in the water, however, it's evolved multiple times here on Earth, more obviously in cephalopods, and also in the line that led to us, the fish. I will also note that when we came onto land, we began using our swim bladder to breathe, and given terrestrial organisms normally evolve lungs from their existing gills, this is evidence that it's pretty darn unlikely this would work on land, although maybe on a low gravity planet, but again, harkening back to part 1, the minimum is 80% Earth, so yeah. Anyway, some Octo-denentes may evolve an air bladder, and they may fill it with gas in the same way as cephalopods to make themselves float. See this PBS Eons video if you want to know more about this method. But anyway, the relevant implications of this method are that they'll have to have already evolved a closed circulatory system, and so they have that, but yeah. Anyway, with that, I'll call this clade. And further, some forms may retain the body shape of other octodentes, only using their air bladder to help with buoyancy, but others may begin relying on their air bladder for swimming, which may bring about drastic changes to their body plan. They may evolve a funnel to pump air for propulsion, like a jetpack. As the air sacs are on the front of the body, the funnels will be on the face. To make room, the teeth may shrink. This will mean that they can't bite into other animals as easily, so they may compensate for this in two ways. One is with a more generalist diet, and the second is turning the limbs on the first two segments into tentacles and bringing them to the front of the body. And their teeth will turn into claws on the tentacles, greatly expanding in number to cover the whole limb and coming together to oppose each other so the animal can grab things, allowing them to become deeper in their generalist lifestyle. Anyway, the first two segments may tagmose, and the other limbs will atrophy to reduce drag, and their other segments will also tagmose. And now we have two tagmas, a cephalon, which is dedicated to feeding and propulsion as well as perception, and an abdomen, which serves the roles of turning, containing most internal organs and giving the body a more hydrodynamically optimal shape, i.e. one that gets thinner towards the front end? We'll go with that. And also, the gills may internalize, and small holes may develop on the front as they blast forward. Water will fall in through these holes, giving them more oxygen than if they just had open gills sitting there. And to more easily eat while moving, they may flip their digestive system so that their mouth is at what previously was the end of the body, and teeth may develop in this new mouth and develop into a big, flat, molar-like form. Also, these forms only have 4 teeth in spite of the phylum's name. And the anus will also be atrophied, and stuff will come out of the funnel instead, and they may also duplicate their eyes onto their front to see what's in front of them better, and with that, I'll call this clade Intus sunt piscis, or inside-out fish, as opposed to normalis piscis, or normal fish. Okay, normally my outro starts, I record it after I've finished the entire video. Normally I'm very strict on this, but at this point, I'm gonna say this so I don't forget it later. I've just finished recording the audio, I haven't edited yet, and you do not know how much I just want to upload the video now. Okay, now it's the actual outro. If this sounds kind of weird, that's because I'm recording it on my desk opposed to in my bed, so the audio is going to sound worse. I'm going to move this piece of paper. Now it sounds slightly better, I presume. But yeah. So this episode's finally out. I wanted to get it out within the 31st of November. Not November. October, so it'll be like 3 videos in October if one were to check the dates, and effectively it still is, seeing as I'm getting this out at some point. Currently it's 09 a.m. on November 1st, but it's obviously gonna take a little while to upload this to YouTube. But yeah, something I'd like to announce here is that I am finally working on the season episode for Planet Emigin Natural History Part 2. I have been since a little bit after I wrapped up production on Part 3, Episode 1, Parasites. But yeah, since then I've been reallocating a significant amount of resources to working on that season episode, and it's mostly done. One might ask, wait, shouldn't it be way easier? You're just going in and
just me drinking a cup of tea there, but you're just going in and editing editing a couple, just to going in and putting a bunch of video files into one video file to create a new video. But now I do want to clarify that I'm completely revamping the whole thing, completely reworking it to make it feel more natural as a single half an hour long video, as opposed to a bunch of episodes in a bunch of episodes within a season of a show. Somewhat, I feel cringe calling it that, but yeah. And now I'm babbling on, so I'm just gonna stop before this becomes half the fucking video. Oh, I forgot to mention that I plan to get the season episode out, but after, I'm gonna get it out between the next video and the video after that, because the video after that's probably gonna take quite a while to get done, so it'll sort of be something to hold you all over. I'm working on that, so yeah. Now I'm actually gonna stop. Hopefully it's not half the video yet.